I welcome you to our amazing drive to the ruins of the Harappan Civilization, which is as old as 2500 BC or more than 4500 years old. It was exciting to see extreme engineering laid out across the ancient land. Come, let's explore Lothal, which means the Mount of the Dead. We started from a place called Dholka in Gujarat, India, and drove around 40 kilometers southwest to the relatively semi-dry lands of Midwest Gujarat to reach the Lothal excavation site at Saragwala. The Aranich Court Road to Bagodara was brilliant, and it curved its way through sparse to thick vegetation that bordered the roads. It was a mingle of colors, wavy green and brown trees shining under a brightly lit blue sky. The temperature hovered around 18 degrees centigrade. Light northeasterly cool breeze gently touched the landscape, ideal for an ancient tour. After 6 kilometers, the metal road crossed the Bhavnagar-Ahmedabad railway tracks that bisected the green fields beyond Lothal Bhurki railway station. This is the Gundi village area, where we took a sharp left, leaving the main highway, and travelled 7 kilometers to meet the approach road to Lothal. The last section to the approach was irregular. The car bounced on the narrow gravelled road. Habitation was almost negligible. Dense stretches of greenery flanked the road. A board on our left told us that we were meters away from the excavation site. Our excitement knew no bounds. The road ended to a wide brown flat land, the official parking area for the Lothal visitors. As we parked, we saw a tourist bus. That meant we had company in large numbers, who were equally keen like us. The Lothal entrance was nothing big, rather a simple iron wide gate that joined a low boundary wall. As we stepped in, the area was very neatly kept with tree-lined walking trail. A plaque told us that Lothal excavations started between 1955 and 1960 by Archaeological Survey of India. The road led to a burnt brick-lined reservoir or a huge tank. What you are seeing is the ancient port that the Harappan people used to dock their ships. The seamen and the ships of the Harappan civilization used to have trade links and sailed to places like Mesopotamia, Turkey, the Persian Gulf, among other countries of the African continent. Lothal's industrial center imported pure copper and produced artifacts such as bronze, celts, chisels, spearheads, and ornaments like beads, animals and human figurines, weights, ritual objects, and jewellery. This artificial dockyard was made with great engineering. It was built with provisions for maintaining a regular water level by means of a sluice gate and a spill channel. A mud brick platform on the western embankment stored the goods for loading and unloading purposes. The northern end was connected to an ancient water channel which connected to the ancient Sabarmati river course and to the sea. The sea is today over 19 kilometers away from Lothal, but at one time boats from the Gulf of Cambay sailed right up to Lothal. The National Institute of Oceanography, Goa, in India found foraminifera or marine microfossils and salt gypsum crystals in the reservoir, a proof of seawater that filled the tank, and it was definitely a dockyard. This is a well which was sourced by the groundwater or by the adjacent tank. Every household had an individual well. This is the brick-lined granary where crops were stored. This raised brick-lined platform acted as the warehouse where the goods from the ships were stored. Imagine more than 60 cubical blocks of mud bricks were built on the platform to provide wooden canopy to protect the ship cargo. I had goosebumps on the nape of my neck as I touched the black rocky uneven burnt bricks which were 4,500 years old. These brick blocks are part of the warehouse and used for loading and unloading goods. On the right of the warehouse was a flat land with remnants of the lower town. Lower town was that area where the working class of the Harappan social structure stayed. They included laborers, masons, and technicians. We came across a kiln, or a type of oven, that produced high temperatures enough to complete bead-making process, such as hardening, drying through chemical changes. I couldn't help myself from touching the ancient double-chambered circular kiln with stoke holes for fuel supply. Floors and walls were mud plastered and vitrified to withstand heat and was leak-proof. This is a section of the drains that bordered every house or business blocks. These drains were connected to the main drain for exit of the wastewater. We continued through the lower town section. You are seeing a well that was part of a house which was in the Acropolis area. Acropolis was political and commercial hub and contained assembly halls, religious structures, and all important buildings. Individuals from higher up in the social grade stayed here. The houses of the Acropolis were wide, built on raised platforms, and had drainage systems. The bricks that were used here were huge. I measured one of them, and they were about 17 inches by 7 inches. Bathing platforms were glazed and houses were two-roomed with courtyards. You can clearly see they used covered drains that were used to manage the water flow that drained into the dock. Openings were present for maintenance purposes, for cleaning the drains. If you examine closely, you will be able to see brick-lined opening on the wall. Water used to drain into the lower drains and in turn met the main drains. The Harappan civilization had very matured skills as far as urban planning was concerned. This is the place beyond which the cemetery existed. We could not go there as the area was filled with long savanna grasses. The vegetation was quite thick too. This is the entrance to the Lothal Museum. Unfortunately, the museum had broken down. An Archaeological Survey of India had closed it, and we could not see the museum displays. We completed our tour of Lothal and headed towards Dholka wetlands. During the complete tour, all along we felt as if we were transported back in time. Do you feel the same at this point? Thanking you for being with us. Goodbye.